All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a special good morning to the recipients of the town of Hingham's 14th Annual Patriot Pen and Voice of Democracy Essay Awards presentation. It's a privilege to be here amongst this group, help recognize all of our young scholars. I am Dick Willett, the current quartermaster of the Hingham VFW, and I will serve as your moderator for today's ceremony. I would like to ask everybody to please stand up and pledge for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before I introduce our special guest this morning, I want to take a minute to welcome you to the Hingham Grand Army of the Republic Hall. The Grand Army of the Republic, I'm sorry, my two things in my way here. The Grand Army of the Republic was a fraternal organization composed of veterans of the Union Army, United States, Navy, Marines, and Revenue Cutter Service who served in the American Civil War. Founded in 1866 in Illinois, the organization was officially dissolved in 1956 when the last member died. Its peak membership reached more than 490,000 men and women in 1890. There were thousands of structures across the nation to house the Grand Army of the Republic organization members. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts had 210 such buildings. Today there are remaining less than 10 buildings in the Commonwealth, but fortunately Hingham still has its gem. This building was built in 1888 and it remains an active venue serving the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, and Veterans Upward Fund. As you look around the room, you will see a significant number of original Grand Army of the Republic banners, flags, books, and other objects that have been conserved and restored. The action has increased the museum level of this building. Currently, veterans are from World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and those men and women from Iraq and Afghanistan. After conclusion of today's ceremony, feel free to wander the room and see firsthand the rich history of this building. Now, I would like to welcome with us today a few of the members of the VFW post. I have Rick Kleck, he's a Navy veteran. I have Ken Walsh, is an Air Force veteran. Stand up. Hi, there's Ken, that's Rick in the back. Beverly Payton, who is a new member, who is the chairman of the Patriot Pen Voice of Democracy essay contest. I have Rick Hines from Cohasset, he's a Navy vet. And I have Scott McMillan, who is a Marine and also the American Legion Commander. I want to give special recognition to Herm Mesmer. This Herm is right here.
Hold it. What we're here about today. Well, I'd like to see all the children that have won an award to stand up right now. Who's getting an award? That's it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that all? That's it. That's it. 9. Okay, this is all about you today. Thank you very much.
How do you follow that? Oh, that's on page 2. Hello. Herm is the main reason why we are here today, and it's through his efforts that we have such a rich and successful program. Herm reinvigorated the Patriot Pen Voice of Democracy program in Hingham 14 years ago. And I am proud to say that through his hard work, we have one of the strongest programs in the state. Round of applause. Every year, Herm undertakes this 3-month effort to ensure the success of the program, which in the past 14 years has benefited the students of Hingham and over 480 students that participated. Herm is a Korean War combat veteran. While in Korea, he served in the area of the harshest conditions, supporting such units as the 7th Marines as well as the 25th Infantry Division. He joined the Hingham VFW post in 1983, where he began his 39 years of energetic and tireless efforts on behalf of the towns veterans and their families, and countless children. This year, Herm was assisted by Beverly Payton, and we are all overwhelmed by the way Beverly dove in and worked tirelessly to help make the program a success. Thank you, Beverly. Applause. Other people I'd like to also recognize are Mrs. Margaret Adams, Superintendent of Hingham Public Schools. Dorothy Gallo, Katie Roberts, Assistant Superintendent. Dorothy Gallo, CAP Superintendent of the Hingham High School. I believe Mary Andrews and Matt Dwyer from the middle school are here. Thank you. Christine O'Connor from the high school. Thank you, Christine. Maggie Clark. Maggie is a teacher at St. Paul School that has been with us for over 12 years. I would also like to thank the judges of the essay writing contest that are present today, which I do not think we have any today. No. I will not recognize you individually, but want to thank you all publicly. So thank you we have a lot of judges that have to judge all these entries, so, and they do it on their own, so it's nice. I also, recognize, excuse me, where am I? Okay, I want to recognize select board members at present, which is Bill Ramsey, Chairman of the Hingham Selectmen Board, and today's keynote speaker. Right there. I don't know if Joe Fisher is here or not. I don't think so. Okay, thank you. Now, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Bill Ramsey. William Ramsey is a successful attorney and federal judge and a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army Reserve. He has served in the United States Army for over 25 years of military service, including active duty tours as a JAG, which is Judge Advocate General, lawyer, attached to the U.S. Army's 82nd Airborne in Afghanistan. Bill currently serves as chairman of the Hingham Select Board. He has dedicated over 12 years on the zoning board and the planning board. He has also served on the Recreation Commission, the July 4th Parade Committee, the Zoning Permit Study Committee, the Veterans Council, and 7 other committees in town. Man, you are busy. Do you ever get home? Okay, his diverse service background makes him the ideal person to talk with students about the willingness to step forward and to do civic part in making our community stronger and more vibrant. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce Bill Ramsey, our keynote speaker for today. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dick, and my congratulations to all the award winners. I'm a proud member of this post, a life member of this post. And a couple years ago, Herm actually had me serve as one of the judges a couple years, and I know what a wonderful program it is. And as Dick said, Herm has taken this program to so many levels, and we have had individuals go to the state competition and win at the state level. So, Herm, thank you so much for your years of service to this program. One of the greatest certainly things I did in my life was join the military after college, but they delayed my service to go to law school. And when I returned from my Afghanistan tour, I was offered an opportunity to teach on the faculty at West Point, and it ended up being just a phenomenal experience to teach at that level, particularly at the academy. But the academy being so close to Hingham at the time, and me having a lot of roots here and a lot of family members, a lot of people from Hingham would come visit me, and I would give them tours of the academy, because it's, for those who've been there, to go to that spot on the Hudson River, it's just wonderful. When you walk on that campus installation, and you see history, you see the bricks, the cadets everywhere, and as a faculty member, I was able to get people into parts of the academy that they probably otherwise would not have been able to do that. But I would always kind of start my tour by showing individuals some of the statutes of some of the famous graduates. And I would start by going to the MacArthur statue, which was right outside one of the barracks. And on the wall behind the MacArthur statue are excerpts of his famous speech that he gave in retirement when he talked about duty, honor, country, which became the motto of the Academy and still is today. And then I would take people over to the statue of General George S. Patton, which is right by the library. And the statue is a very, as we all know, a very aggressive-looking General Patton. And on the base of the statue, there's some tremendous, great Patton quotes, like, one should never take counsel in one's own fears, and one should pursue their enemy with the utmost audacity. These tremendous Patton quotes that we've all come to learn about through history. But the statue that I liked the most, and I thought was most significant to me, was the statue of Dwight D. Eisenhower. Obviously, was the Supreme Allied Commander during World War II. And on the back of his statue is the message of the day from June 6, 1944, which obviously was D-Day history. And it reads, to the soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. Now, this was the message delivered to the paratroopers who jumped into Normandy on the late hours of June 5th, into June 6th of 44, into those brave service members who stormed those beaches on June 6th. And I always think of that statue when I think about our veterans, because when the eyes of the world have looked to our veterans, be it the Greens at Lexington and Concord, or today the mountains of Afghanistan, the Middle East, and right now Eastern Europe, our veterans have never let us down. So when the eyes of our nation turn to our veterans for whatever need, whatever conflict, I think you've learned from this program that our veterans have always delivered for our country, and rest assured that they always will. And as a high school student, as you have learned through this Patriot Pen program, when I was your age, when I was in high school, I volunteered to be on our Veterans Memorial Day Committee. It was a combined committee at the time before we got our Veterans Council. And I did it for two reasons, because I had an interest in joining the military, and I just had a passion for history. And I got to meet some tremendous veterans in this town, members of this post. And it was really fascinating for me to actually talk to veterans, and there were a lot of World War II veterans in the post at the time, who were actually at Normandy on D-Day. I talked to one veteran who was a very active member, who was a retired police chief, Raymond Campbell, Bud Campbell, and he talked to me what it was actually like to serve in Europe during World War II as an 18, 19-year-old young man, and to serve under Patton, to liberate a concentration camp, and with the horror he felt as a very young man to see that and to be part of that liberation. I talked to another member of this post, Joe Sweeney, and Scott, and some of the young members will remember Joe. He actually was at the beaches of Normandy. I learned so much about history by talking to these veterans, and they were able to tell me about their experiences. With one member who was with the 101st Airborne, who jumped into Holland during Operation Market Garden. So I learned tremendously about history firsthand from people who were actually there. I was studying conflicts in school, but then I was talking to people who were at these conflict part of these campaigns. But I think more importantly, what I learned about as a young high school student was in your search for role models, as I did when I was your age. We sometimes look to social media or those in the public eye, and unfortunately, sometimes the people let us down. Sometimes they don't. But I can tell you, our veterans taught me a tremendous amount about character, commitment, and courage. When they would talk about what it was like to be in these conflicts as very young men and women, I just learned so much about who my role models were, and it was just so wonderful to have that experience. And I hope that in going through this program, and the theme this year, I think, was the pledge to our veterans, and I got to read some of the essays that were published in the Anchor yesterday, which was wonderful. I saw that you all learned about this. You all learned about the importance of our veterans, what our military does for our country, but you've also learned a little about history in the process as well. So my congratulations to you. My congratulations to your families. I know that probably mom and dad did some editing of your essays. I know my mom and dad did a lot of editing in my essays. And I was right. And I just want to leave you with one last important thought. As somebody who taught at West Point, today is a pretty important day. So I'm going to leave you with Go Army, be brave.
Thank you, Will. It was very good, very nice. This is probably the most rewarding part of the program, introducing Patriot Pen and Voice of Democracy recipients. This essay contest encourages young students to examine American history, expressing their views based on a patriotic theme chosen by the VFW Commander-in-Chief. This year's theme is My Pledge to Our Veterans. Once again this year, essays were very competitive, so the students that are about to be recognized are truly worthy of this award. Before we introduce the students, I want to recognize the people that are the driving force behind these successful students. And the parents of the children receiving the awards, please stand so that we can recognize you. Thank you. Please stand so we can recognize you. Without the parents, we probably wouldn't have these children with these beautiful essays. It all starts at home. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to you this year's recipients. Bill, are you going to count them up?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go by St. Paul's School first, and then I'll go to the middle school, and then we'll go to the high school. So, oh, sure, yeah, okay. She can thank the students after they receive your award. The first one is going to be right on that. Okay, that's the first. Okay. Okay, this is going to be from the St. Paul School. The first place winner, grade 8, was Izzy. Well, his name was Izzy Pulio. He cannot attend today. Izzy. Okay, oh, I didn't know you were talking. Oh, I'm sorry, okay. He's not able to attend today's event due to a prior commitment. He has his SAT test, I guess, but her father, Stephen, and her sister, Reagan, are attending on behalf. So could you please come forward and accept the award? Okay. The second place winner is Audrey Regard, I think it is, correct? Okay. Wait a minute, I'm going to read your Bible. Audrey's in the 7th grade at St. Paul's School. She enjoys swimming, sailing, and drawing. She is on a swim team called the Webb's Tornadoes, and she loves the team, especially her friends and coaches. In addition to being a competitive swimmer, she is also a competitive sailor at Quisette, is that it? Quisette? Okay. I never heard of it. Yacht Club. The boats she sails on are called Optus, and she is looking forward to sailing 420s this upcoming summer. And she loves Taylor Swift, writing, acting, singing, paddleboarding, and going to the beach with her friends. That's it. Congratulations. Okay, we have Leah Davey, grade 7. She's 3rd place. Leah could not attend today's ceremony due to a family commitment, but we wanted to give her the recognition she deserves. Round of applause, and we'll get that gift. We'll give her Unfortunately, it's Christmas time, and a lot of people have a lot of plans, so sometimes they just can't make it. Now we're going to go to the Hingham Middle School. The first place was Sophia Scott. Sophia is in the 8th grade at the Hingham Middle School. Outside of school, she enjoys horseback riding, writing, reading, and caring for her pets. Her favorite subjects are all languages, including French, Spanish, and English. When she grows up, she dreams of being a zoologist. She chose to write the essay because she loves writing and thought it would be a good opportunity to honor her grandfather and uncle, who have both served. So, Sophia, would you please come up if you're here? Second place from the Hingham Middle School is Olivia Wadley. Olivia is a 6th grader at the Hingham Middle School. In her spare time, she enjoys playing volleyball, guitar, and reading. Her favorite subject in school is English, and she aspires to be an author one day. She chose to participate in the Patriot's Pen Essay Contest as a tribute to the veterans in her family. Would you step up, Olivia Wadley, please? Third place at the Hingham Middle School is Sierra Doyle. Sierra is a 6th grader at the Hingham Middle School. In her spare time, she enjoys skiing, softball, and baking. Her favorite subject in school is science, and she aspires to be an architect one day. Congratulations. And now we have the Voice of Democracy from the high school. The first place winner was Caitlin Erickson. And just a note that Caitlin was first place, and the first place winners are all submitted to district. In the district, she came in 3rd, but she came in 1st with our vote. So. I believe with the 3rd place will be monetary for you. You should probably get a check. I'm not sure how much, but you will get a check or something. So that's nice, another check. I always use money, right? Caitlin is a senior at the Hingham High School who loves to play tennis, hang out with friends, and go hiking or walk her dog. Throughout high school, she has always loved history and hopes to major in certain historical study while continuing her education in college. Caitlin is very interested in studying World War I and World War II and other wars and conflicts throughout history. Caitlin wants to understand what people went through during these times, primarily the soldiers and people on the front lines. Caitlin has a lot of empathy and gratitude towards veterans. In addition, Caitlin wrote the Voice of Democracy essay as a tribute to our national heroes and to encourage others to do the same. So would you please step up, Caitlin Erickson. Okay, now second place at the Hingham High School was Samuel Peacock, and that name sounds familiar. He was a winner last year too, I think, wasn't he? Yeah, he was, yeah. You're about 6 feet tall, right? Okay, Sam has a strong interest in computer technology and finance. His interest in U.S. and European history were sparked by his dedicated and talented history teacher, Ms. Christine O'Connor. Having taken several of her classes, Sam fully understands and appreciates the sacrifices our veterans have made throughout the years. Sam enjoys playing soccer, basketball, following the stock market, with smart man, traveling, and learning new software technology. Would you please come up, stand, please? The third place winner is Elizabeth, I think it's Shimeri? I don't know if she's here. Is she here? Ah, okay. I don't have a bio on you, Elizabeth, but it still gets you points. Come on up. Thank you, sir. I think we should give everybody, all the recipients, all the winners, we should give them a hand and send them out.
There they are, the winners. Please thank them.
Congratulations to all the winners. Okay, before we close, I want to thank all the volunteers who helped make this day so successful, and a special thank you to Beverly Clayton, who did an outstanding job working with her to see that the program was once again a huge success. Thank you, Beverly. You can relax now. Lastly, and most importantly to the families, thank you very much for your participation this morning. It truly is an honor to be in the same room with so many loyal and patriotic Americans. I wish you nothing but the best that life has to offer. Please join us with refreshments and walk around and enjoy yourself. And thank you very much. Beverly has an announcement she'd like to make to everybody.
Everyone and teachers that helped me out and filled me in on the loop. Thank you so much to all of you. I really appreciate it. We do have an added little thing that we're going to try every year, and it's a little veterans corner. And we're doing thank you cards to send to our combat veterans overseas. So if you feel the need to write something, we'll put that in packages to send on your behalf. Thank you guys so much, and students. I got to meet all of you. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. And only one of you doesn't qualify next year, so I expect to see all of you participating again. And I challenge you to get one friend involved as well.